Want to train your brain to think in English? Here's a fun way. You don't need boring textbooks or stressful grammar drills. You need something real, something that sticks. That's why we bring you daily stories designed to help you learn English without even realizing it. You'll laugh, imagine, and at the same time, absorb useful structures naturally. So hit that subscribe button, give the video a like, and let's enjoy today's adventure together. You never know what you'll learn when the story begins. When Josh landed in Rome, he thought he was prepared. He had downloaded maps, bookmarked places to eat, saved tickets for a walking tour of the Colosseum, and even learned a few Italian phrases. But travel has a funny way of humbling people, especially the ones who think they've planned it all perfectly. His hotel was small but cozy, tucked in a narrow street with old stone walls and green shutters. The morning started quietly. Josh had breakfast on the little rooftop, watched the sky go from orange to blue, and double-checked the time for his tour. He still had plenty of it. After packing his backpack with a water bottle, a city map, and his phone charger, he left the hotel feeling calm and confident. He wore his favorite sneakers, ready to explore. Now, the Colosseum, being one of the most famous landmarks in the world, should be hard to miss. Josh thought the same. It's a giant oval structure made of stone, standing in the middle of Rome. You'd expect it to be visible from almost anywhere. But the city is full of tall buildings, winding streets, fountains, and piazzas that can make even giant monuments hide in plain sight. At first, everything was fine. Josh followed the general direction shown on his phone. But the narrow streets twisted unexpectedly. Some corners led to tiny courtyards. Others opened into wide plazas full of tourists and pigeons. His GPS kept rerouting. The signal was weak between the old stone buildings. Still, he kept walking. He passed a bakery and stopped for a quick snack. The aroma of fresh bread pulled him in. 5 minutes, maybe 10. He didn't worry yet. Back outside, he took another turn, expecting the Colosseum to appear. Instead, he found a fountain, then a church, then a dead-end street with laundry hanging from windows. He asked himself, where is this massive arena everyone talks about? Josh began to notice the time slipping away. He walked faster, checking the signs above shops, scanning for any mention of the Colosseum. But the signs were mostly in Italian, and some were for restaurants or museums. He tried using his phone again, but the app froze. He closed and opened it. Nothing. He started to feel the heat, both from the sun and the pressure of being late. His walking tour ticket said he needed to arrive 15 minutes before the start. That window was closing fast. Then he saw a group of tourists standing near a large bus. A good sign. He walked toward them and listened. A tour guide was speaking English, but not about the Colosseum. She was explaining the history of a palace. Not helpful. Josh apologized with a nod and turned back. He still believed he was close. He spotted a large building in the distance. It had arches and columns. Finally, something that looked right. He walked straight to it. As he got closer, his heart dropped. It wasn't the Colosseum. It was a theater, built to look ancient, but not what he was looking for. Now he was sweating. He tried asking a local man who was smoking near a doorway. Josh pointed at a picture of the Colosseum on his ticket and raised his eyebrows. The man smiled and gave quick directions in Italian. Josh understood, maybe 1 word out of 5. He smiled back and nodded, even though he was more confused than before. Back on the move again, he took another turn, found another plaza, and tried to follow the flow of tourists. That's when he saw it. Through the space between 2 buildings, the unmistakable curved wall of the Colosseum peeked out like it was playing hide-and-seek. Josh almost ran. He weaved through crowds, skipped around street performers, and crossed a street without waiting for the light. The ancient structure grew larger with each step until it finally stood before him in full view, majestic, weathered, and full of history. He rushed to the meeting point shown on his ticket. But it was empty. No tour group, no guide. Just a few latecomers like him, looking around nervously. A staff member nearby noticed him. She asked something, and Josh showed her his ticket. She pointed kindly but firmly to the other side of the square and said, "That group already left 10 minutes ago." Josh sighed. Deeply. He had missed it. But he wasn't angry. Not exactly. He was tired, yes, and disappointed. But he also felt something else, freedom. He had the whole day ahead of him, and now no schedule to follow. So he walked slowly toward the entrance of the Colosseum. He bought a regular ticket, stood in line, and waited with everyone else. Inside, the view took his breath away. Even though he had seen pictures all his life, nothing compared to standing inside the ancient arena. The stone walls whispered stories of gladiators and emperors. The underground chambers were cool and mysterious. The sunlight fell through broken arches like a natural spotlight. Josh wandered freely, listening to his own thoughts instead of a guide. He imagined the cheers of a crowd, the roar of lions, and the rhythm of Roman drums. He touched the walls, took slow photos, and read the signs carefully. He even found a quiet corner where he sat and watched people from all over the world take it all in. That afternoon, he didn't follow a path. He followed his curiosity. He took side streets, discovered a tiny gelato shop, and had the best pistachio ice cream of his life. He sat on a bench and wrote in his travel journal, something he rarely had time for. That night, back at the hotel, he realized he hadn't wasted the day. He had simply lived it differently. The Colosseum didn't care if he was part of a group. It had stood for centuries, waiting patiently for anyone to find it, lost or not. See what just happened? You learned without realizing it. This wasn't a grammar class, but you read real English with real structures, and your brain handled it like a pro. That's the beauty of learning through stories. Want more? Good news. We do this every single day. So if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and share the story with another language learner. Oh, and before you go, leave a comment. Have you ever gotten lost while looking for a famous place? What happened? We might turn your story into our next video.